Have you ever felt like your whole world is crumbling around you? When the plans you made, the people you trusted, and the hopes you held dear suddenly fall apart, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. In those darkest moments, many of us ask the same painful question: is God testing my faith, or has He abandoned me? This struggle between doubt and belief is one of the most profound spiritual battles we can face. Today, let's explore what it truly means when everything falls apart, and how these trials might be shaping a deeper, stronger faith within us. The breaking point, when life feels like it's falling apart. Have you ever reached a moment in life when everything seems to unravel all at once? When the steady ground beneath your feet suddenly gives way, leaving you grasping at air. It's as if the foundation of your entire existence is cracking and crumbling, and you are helplessly watching the pieces fall apart. Maybe you lost your job unexpectedly, or a cherished relationship ended without warning. Perhaps you faced a health crisis that no one saw coming, or a financial disaster that drained your savings. Whatever the circumstance, the feeling is the same: a deep, overwhelming sense of loss, confusion, and despair. At this breaking point, life no longer feels familiar. The future you had carefully planned suddenly seems impossible to reach. Dreams you worked so hard to build now lie in ruins. You might ask yourself, why me? What did I do to deserve this? Is this the end? It's natural to feel shattered when everything you once relied on disappears. The first thing to understand about these moments is that they are universal. No one is immune to them. Even the strongest, most faithful people encounter seasons of darkness. The great spiritual leaders, historical figures, and everyday heroes you admire have all faced crises where their lives fell apart. What makes the difference is not whether the crisis happens. It will, at some point, but how you respond to it. When life breaks down, your emotional world often feels like a storm at sea. Fear crashes like waves. Doubt fills the sky like dark clouds. Anxiety howls like the wind. The uncertainty of what comes next paralyzes you, making it difficult to see beyond the present moment. And in this storm, it's easy to lose hope. Perhaps one of the most painful parts of the breaking point is the sense of isolation. When everything falls apart, you might feel completely alone. Friends and family may try to help, but sometimes their words feel hollow or distant. You might retreat into yourself, unwilling or unable to share your pain. Even within a community of believers, you may feel cut off from God. The silence can be deafening. It's also common to experience anger during these times. Anger at the situation, at others, and sometimes even at God. Why is this happening to me? Why won't God intervene? Does He even care? These questions can echo endlessly in your mind, fueling a cycle of frustration and despair. But amid the chaos, the breaking point offers a crucial opportunity, the chance to confront the reality of your life and your faith. It forces you to ask the hard questions, to examine your beliefs, and to decide what truly matters. When everything else falls away, what remains? It is at this moment, when life seems to be falling apart, that many people encounter the greatest spiritual crossroads. Do you surrender to hopelessness, or do you find a way to keep moving forward? Do you give in to doubt, or do you seek a deeper understanding of faith? Consider the story of Job from the Bible, a man who lost everything: his family, his wealth, and his health, yet wrestled with his faith throughout his suffering. Job's journey reminds us that the breaking point is not the end of the story, but the beginning of a deeper spiritual transformation. Like Job, you may find that your faith is tested, challenged, and refined through the fire of hardship. What does this mean for you today? It means that no matter how shattered you feel, there is a way through. The breaking point, painful as it is, can become the place where you rebuild. It's a difficult truth, but one that has brought hope to countless souls before you. In the coming parts of this speech, we will explore what it means when God allows these moments to happen, whether He is testing your faith or simply letting you grow through the pain. We'll look at how to find hidden lessons in suffering and how to rise from the ashes stronger than before. But for now, I want you to sit with this reality. When everything falls apart, you are not alone. Your feelings are valid. Your pain is real. And your faith, even if it feels broken, still has the potential to become the foundation on which you rebuild your life. The breaking point is not the end. It's a crossroads, one that asks you who you are when stripped of everything else. It asks you, will you hold on, or will you let go? The answer is yours to discover. The spiritual struggle. Is God testing you or abandoning you? When life falls apart, the spiritual battle that begins inside is often the most painful of all. It's one thing to lose a job, a relationship, or health, but when your faith feels shaken, when your connection to God seems to falter, it can leave you feeling completely lost. In those moments of despair, the questions become louder and more urgent. Is God testing me, or has He abandoned me? This struggle is deeply human and deeply spiritual. Faith is supposed to be a source of comfort, strength, and hope. But when everything crumbles, that comfort can vanish, leaving only silence or even feelings of anger toward God. You might pray and wait for answers, but they don't come. The prayers feel unanswered, the silence deafening. You wonder if God is distant or indifferent. This spiritual struggle can feel like being caught in a vast wilderness, with no compass or map. It's the place where doubt and belief collide, where fear wrestles with hope. You might find yourself questioning everything you once believed, wondering if your faith was real or just an illusion. This crisis of faith is one of the most isolating experiences a person can endure because it feels so private and so deeply personal. But here's a crucial truth. This spiritual struggle, as painful as it is, can also be a sign that your faith is alive. Doubt does not mean the absence of faith. Sometimes, it means faith is being tested and stretched to its limits. Just like muscles grow stronger when they are challenged, faith can deepen and expand through trials. Think about the great figures in spiritual history, prophets, saints, and everyday believers who have faced moments of intense doubt and despair. Their stories remind us that faith is not the absence of questions, but the courage to seek truth even when answers are not clear. It's the willingness to hold on even when the path is dark. In many religious traditions, trials and suffering are seen as tests or opportunities for growth. The Bible tells us that God sometimes allows difficulties to refine us, like gold purified by fire. This refining process is painful but necessary to remove impurities and reveal true strength. Could it be that your current pain is part of that divine process? At the same time, it's natural to feel abandoned. When prayers go unanswered and hope feels distant, it's normal to wonder if God has turned away. This feeling of abandonment is not unusual in spiritual struggles. It has a name in theology, the dark night of the soul. It's a phase where God seems silent, where the light of faith dims, and where the soul is tested to its core. But the dark night is often a passage, not a destination. It's a difficult stage that many have walked through on their way to a renewed and stronger faith. It forces us to confront the depths of our spiritual selves and to learn to trust without immediate reassurance. How do you navigate this spiritual wilderness? One step is to embrace honesty with yourself and with God. Allow yourself to ask the hard questions, to express your doubts and fears. Prayer does not have to be perfect words. Sometimes it's simply the cry of a broken heart. God meets us in our weakness, not just in our moments of strength. Another step is to seek community. While faith is personal, it is not meant to be isolated. Sharing your struggle with trusted friends, mentors, or spiritual leaders can provide comfort and guidance. Sometimes hearing other stories of struggle and faith can remind you that you are not alone. It's also important to remember that faith is a journey, not a destination. There will be peaks and valleys, moments of clarity and moments of confusion. The struggle itself can become a teacher, showing you parts of yourself and your beliefs you never knew existed. So, when you ask, is God testing me or has He abandoned me? The answer may not be simple or immediate. The test might be real, a call to grow and deepen your faith, or the silence might be a challenge to develop trust in the unknown. Either way, the struggle you face is part of a larger story, a story that can lead to transformation. In the next part, we will explore how to find purpose and meaning amid the pain, and how the hidden lessons in suffering can become a foundation for new hope. For now, hold on to the truth that your spiritual struggle is not the end, but a sign that your faith is alive and moving toward the hidden lesson, finding purpose in the pain. When everything falls apart, it's natural to focus on the loss, the grief, and the emptiness that follows. The pain can feel unbearable, and the future can seem hopeless. But if we take a step back and look deeper, we may discover that suffering and brokenness often carry hidden lessons, lessons that, once learned, can transform our lives in ways we never imagined. Pain, as difficult as it is, can become a powerful teacher. It strips away distractions and forces us to confront our true selves. It challenges our assumptions about life, faith, and what really matters. In the silence of suffering, we are invited to reflect, to grow, and to awaken to new truths. Many spiritual traditions teach that suffering is not meaningless. Instead, it is part of the human experience that helps shape our character and deepen our understanding. Think about the analogy of a seed buried in the dark soil. It must break open, face the struggle of growth underground before it can sprout toward the light. Similarly, our painful experiences can become the soil from which new strength and wisdom grow. But how do we find purpose in pain? The first step is acceptance. Accepting that pain is part of life does not mean we approve of suffering or resign ourselves to despair. It means recognizing reality as it is, without resistance. When we resist pain, we create additional suffering for ourselves through denial or avoidance. Acceptance opens the door to healing. Once we accept our pain, we can begin to ask, what can this teach me? Sometimes the lessons are practical. Perhaps the loss reveals unhealthy patterns we need to change, or a broken relationship teaches us boundaries or forgiveness. Sometimes the lessons are deeper. Maybe pain teaches humility, patience, or compassion, qualities that enrich our soul. Look at the stories of people who have endured great hardship and emerged stronger. Many describe a sense of purpose that came from their suffering, a desire to help others, to advocate for change, or to live more authentically. Their pain became a catalyst for meaning. Moreover, suffering can deepen empathy. When we have experienced brokenness ourselves, we are better equipped to support others in their struggles. This shared human experience builds connection and community, reminding us we are not alone. But the most profound lesson in pain often concerns our relationship with God or the divine. When life shatters our illusions of control and certainty, we are invited to place our trust not in circumstances, but in something greater. Pain can lead us to surrender, not in defeat, but in faith. This surrender is not about giving up, but about opening our hearts to grace, healing, and transformation. It's about saying, I don't understand this now, but I choose to believe there is a purpose beyond my pain. Finding purpose in pain does not erase the hardship. It doesn't mean the journey is easy or that the wounds disappear overnight, but it changes the way we experience suffering. It turns pain from a meaningless curse into a crucible for growth. So if you are in the midst of a storm, I encourage you to look for the hidden lessons. Ask yourself, what am I learning from this? How is this shaping me? You may find that the very things you thought would break you are, in fact, building you up. In the final part of this speech, we will explore how to take these lessons and rise from the ashes, how to rebuild your life and faith stronger than before. Because no matter how deep the fall, there is always a way to rise again. Rising from the ashes, rebuilding faith and life. After the storm has passed, after the pain has been felt deeply and the lessons have been learned, the most important step awaits, the step of rising from the ashes. When everything falls apart, it may feel like the end, but it is actually an opportunity to rebuild, not just your life, but your faith and your very identity. Rising from the ashes means more than returning to what was before. It means being transformed by the experience, stronger, wiser, and more grounded in your purpose. Like a phoenix that rises renewed from its own ashes, you too can emerge from the ruins of hardship with new strength and clarity. How do we begin to rebuild when everything seems broken? The first foundation is acceptance, accepting where you are, what you've been through, and who you are now. It means releasing the past, forgiving yourself and others, and letting go of bitterness or resentment that can keep you trapped. Next is patience. Rebuilding is rarely quick or easy. It takes time to heal wounds, restore trust, and rediscover hope. Be gentle with yourself in this process. Celebrate small victories and acknowledge progress, even if it feels slow. Gratitude is another powerful tool. It may sound difficult to be thankful in the midst of pain, but gratitude shifts our focus from what is lost to what remains, from despair to hope. Each day offers something to be thankful for: a kind word, a moment of peace, a breath of fresh air. Holding on to gratitude invites light back into the darkest places. Rebuilding also requires faith. Faith not only in God, but in yourself. Trust that you have the inner resources to heal and grow. Trust that you are not defined by your failures or losses. Your worth remains intact, and your future holds promise. Remember, faith is not a magic shield that prevents suffering. It is the anchor that holds you steady in the storm. It is the quiet voice that says, "This is not the end. There is hope beyond this moment." It is the courage to keep walking, even when the path is uncertain. Community plays a vital role in this rebuilding process. Reach out for support from friends, family, or faith communities. Connection nurtures healing and reminds us that we are not alone in our journey. Sharing your story can inspire others and create bonds of mutual strength. As you rebuild, set new goals that reflect who you have become through the trials. Let your renewed faith guide your choices and actions. Use your experience to fuel compassion and purpose. Many who have walked through fire emerge with a mission to help others facing similar struggles, turning personal pain into collective hope. Ultimately, rising from the ashes is about transformation. It is the journey from brokenness to wholeness, from despair to hope, from questioning to trust. It is the living proof that faith can be tested and yet endure, stronger and more vibrant than before. So, if you find yourself in a place where everything feels lost, remember this: the breaking point is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one where your faith is refined, your spirit renewed, and your life rebuilt with deeper meaning. You are not alone. God is not distant. Even when it feels like silence, there is a presence holding you, guiding you, and preparing you for the rise. Stand firm in hope. Embrace the journey, and know that from the ashes you will rise, living with resilience, carrying your faith beyond the trials. The journey through hardship, faith testing, and rebuilding is not a one-time event. It is a profound chapter in the ongoing story of your life, but it is not the end. The real challenge lies in what comes next: how to live with resilience, carrying your renewed faith beyond the trials and into every day that follows. To live resiliently means more than simply surviving. It means thriving amid uncertainty and growth, building a life anchored in strength, hope, and unwavering trust. Resilience is not something we are born with. It is a quality cultivated over time through experience, reflection, and choice. It is the inner strength that allows us to bend without breaking, to face difficulties with courage, and to recover when life knocks us down again. Living with resilience means making peace with the reality that life is unpredictable and often challenging, but also that we have the capacity to endure and rise. One of the most powerful ways to build resilience is to view faith not as a destination or a safety net that prevents pain, but as a continuous journey. Faith grows and evolves just as we do, shaped by our experiences, questions, doubts, and triumphs. This ongoing journey means accepting that doubt and uncertainty are natural parts of faith, not signs of failure, but opportunities for deeper understanding. Practicing resilience daily requires nurturing your spiritual and emotional well-being. Simple, consistent habits can become anchors in turbulent times. Prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection provide moments of connection and peace, helping you to center yourself and realign with your beliefs. Reading sacred texts or inspirational writings offers wisdom and perspective. Engaging in supportive communities, whether faith groups, friends, or mentors, brings encouragement and reminds us that we are not alone. Resilience also means developing a mindset that embraces challenges as chances to learn and grow. Instead of avoiding difficulties or wishing they would disappear, resilient people look for meaning within hardship. They ask, "What can I learn from this? And how can this experience strengthen me?" This perspective transforms obstacles into stepping stones, each trial a building block of character. Importantly, living with resilience involves self-compassion. After all, growth is not linear, and setbacks are part of the path. Allowing yourself grace in moments of weakness or doubt prevents despair and fuels perseverance. Recognize that you are human, vulnerable yet capable, flawed yet strong. Your faith becomes the foundation upon which resilience rests. It is the voice that whispers in the dark, "You are not alone." It is the steady hand that guides you when the way is unclear. And it is the flame of hope that refuses to be extinguished. Faith sustains resilience by reminding us of a larger story, one that holds purpose, meaning, and redemption beyond our immediate struggles. Living resiliently also means turning your own story of struggle and recovery into a source of strength for others. Sharing your experiences with honesty and vulnerability creates connection and hope. When you reveal the ways you have wrestled with doubt, endured pain, and rebuilt faith, you offer a lifeline to those still in the storm. Your story can inspire, encourage, and remind others that rising from the ashes is possible. Moreover, resilience calls us to embrace the uncertainty of life with hope rather than fear. We cannot predict what lies ahead, but we can choose how to face it, with trust that we have the inner resources and divine support to meet whatever comes. This does not mean denying reality or avoiding preparation. It means holding a confident peace amid the unknown. In practical terms, this may look like setting flexible goals, cultivating gratitude for present blessings, and remaining open to new possibilities. It means learning to adapt, to let go of control when needed, and to find joy in small moments even when bigger dreams are still out of reach. Ultimately, living with resilience is a lifelong commitment to faith, hope, and growth. It is a declaration that no matter what breaks or falls apart, your spirit will endure and flourish. The trials you face are not detours but integral parts of the path, shaping you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. As you carry your faith beyond the trials, remember that resilience is not about being invincible. It is about being real. It is about embracing vulnerability and strength together. It is about walking forward each day, sometimes with trembling steps, but always with a heart open to possibility. So stand firm in the knowledge that your journey continues. Carry your faith as a shield and a light. Live with resilience that inspires others. And know that through every high and low, you are being shaped into the person you are meant to be, a beacon of hope and a testament to the enduring power of faith.